Hey guys, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about what is the meaning of the dot, all right? Many of you guys have been asking this question. You know that a dotted half note is 3 beats, right? And you know a dotted quarter note, recently you've memorized this is what? 1.5 beats, right? But why? How did we get that, right? What does the dot do to the actual note length? What happens if you have a dot in front of an eighth note or in front of a 16th note or in front of a whole note? What does the dot actually do? Well, let's explore. We're going to go to the next slide and explore some basics, and we're going to build from there. All right, so let's explore the basics of what the meaning of the dot means. Let's start off with a half note. All right, I'm going to put a half note on the board here. All right, this is just a basic half note. And we know that a half note is how many beats? Exactly, right? A half note's 2 beats, right? A half note is 2 beats. So let me put the number 2 here. All right, now we're going to add a dot. All right, now it's a dotted half note. We know a dotted half note's not 2 beats, right? How much is a dotted half note? Exactly 3 beats. So we know that's 2 plus something, right? Which we know is the value of the dot equals the number 3. So what number goes in there? What number goes in there to get us 3 beats? Exactly, right? That's the number 1, right? And so we know the dot means it's going to get an extra beat. But how do we get the number 1? Well, what you do is this. You take the original value, right? The original value of the original note, which is 2, and you add half of that, which is what the dot means, okay? So 2 plus half of 2, which is 1, equals 3. All right, got it. Let's try it again. Let's try it again with a quarter note. All right, how many beats is a quarter note? Let me just copy paste this there. How many beats is a quarter note? 1 beat. All right, and we're gonna add a dot to it now. We're gonna add a dot to it. All right, let's take that original rule. Take the original note. That's 1 beat, plus half of that value. What's half of the number 1? Exactly, it's 0.5. All right, so that's how we get 0.5 beats. 1.5 beats, I mean, all right? So 1 plus 0.5 equals 1.5 beats. Got it. All right, so now that you know what the dot means, how does this apply to subdivisions? All right, guys, so this is where it starts getting very interesting. This is where we start figuring out how we use subdivisions with dotted quarter notes, all right? How do we subdivide a dotted quarter note rhythm? All right, but let's just go very basic, okay? What we know is that when we subdivide a measure, right, we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, all right? And these are actually called eighth note subdivisions. Say that with me. Ready? Eighth note subdivisions. Got it. So eighth note subdivisions means that each one of these subdivisions is an eighth note, right? And you guys are used to seeing, you know, maybe this appear as pair of eighth notes, right? So if I took a pair of eighth notes, you know this will get 1 and, right? Next one, 2, right? The first eighth note gets 2. The second one gets and, right? The next one, 3 and, 4 and, right? You with me? 4 and, right? Because each one of these gets a single subdivision, right? But we're not doing that. We're not doing pairs of eighth notes, right? We're going to be looking at a dotted quarter note. So let's explore. How many subdivisions will a quarter note get? Quarter note gets how many beats? 1. Okay. So 0.5 plus 0.5 is 1. All right. So it's going to get the subdivisions 1 and. All right. And technically, what I'm going to do is put that in parentheses because we don't clap there. 1 and. All right. With me so far? All right. And technically, if I did it again over here, let's try it over here. Right. Again, 0.5 plus 0.5 is 1 beat. So this will get, the next one will get, oops. The next one will get 2 and. All right. So I'm going to clap the first 2 beats. 1 and 2 and. All right. And I'll put this in parentheses so just to remind you don't clap there. Again, 1 and 2 and. Got it. All right. But we're not trying to do this. We're trying to actually do a dotted, we're trying to get a little bit more advanced here, a dotted quarter note. All right. So let me just change these back to just regular plus signs and clear the board, and let's figure out how to do this. All right, so here we go. Let's add a dotted quarter note to the board. All right, we know that a quarter note is how many beats already? Exactly. A quarter note is 1 beat, so 0.5 plus 0.5 is 1 beat. All right? But now we're going to add the dot. We're going to add the dot. All right? So we add another half of a beat to it. So now it gets 1.5 beats. So a dotted quarter note gets 1.5 beats, and we're going to subdivide it as 1 and 2. All right? I'm going to put these in parentheses because we don't clap there. 1 and 2. All right? Now, let's put another rhythm up on the board, a rhythm that we see usually. Usually this dotted quarter note rhythm is followed by an eighth note. So let me just put an eighth note over here, single eighth note. All right? How many subdivisions is an eighth note? An eighth note's 0.5, so how many subdivisions does it get? Exactly, just one subdivision, right? It just gets one subdivision. So let me just highlight this here, and. All right, so let's clap it. So the dotted quarter note is 1 and 2, and then this goes on and. Together, it's going to go 1 and 2, and. Clap with me. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2, and. Are these subdivisions correct? Of course they are. Look, 0.5 plus 0.5 plus 0.5 is 1.5 beats. Bingo, that's what a dotted quarter note is. All right, eighth note, 0.5 of a beat. Bingo, right? 1/8 note subdivision, 0.5 of a beat. We're good. All right, let's try one more. Let's just take another dotted rhythm here, and let's just start it over here. All right, how many beats is this dotted quarter note? Exactly 1.5 beats. So let's look at the subdivisions that'll make 1.5 beats. 0.5 plus 0.5 is 1, plus another 0.5 is 1.5. All right, so I'm gonna highlight this over here, and this will get 1.5 beats, okay? So this will get 3 and 4, all right? And since I'm not clapping on these here, I'm just gonna put those in parentheses, all right? All right, and so close to the very end. Let's put one more eighth note over here, all right? How many subdivisions does an eighth note get? Exactly, an eighth note is an eighth note subdivision, right? So it gets just one subdivision, so it gets 0.5 of a beat. I'm gonna highlight that in red. Done, okay? So this last half of the measure here, this last half of the measure starting over here at this note that I'm highlighting is gonna go 3 and 4 and. With me, 1, 2, ready, go. 3 and 4 and. 1, 2, again, go. 3 and 4 and. Let's do the whole entire thing now. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1, 2, again, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so that is how we apply subdivisions to dotted quarter notes. Hopefully that helped you guys out. Have fun.